What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Getting right into it, I want to discuss UFC 273's co-main event for the UFC Bantamweight Championship rematch between Aljamain and Petr Yan. A lot of crazy shit going on, a lot of backstories going on. They fought once before, and if you don't really know what happened, Aljo looked really good and really aggressive probably the first like 2.5 minutes of the fight, and then he really kind of gassed out, and Petr Yan just like manhandled him for like the next like 2 or 3 rounds. I think it was in the 4th round. Finally, Aljo's on his knees, and Yan just throws a knee right to his face. And what happens after that was a better performance than any Oscar winner in the history of acting. I mean, Aljamain Sterling pretended to be knocked out. He might have been hurt at first, but he definitely overplayed it, and he couldn't continue, you know. He was getting his ass kicked before that. Petr was well on his way to a stoppage victory. I mean, he was just whooping Aljamain's ass. And Aljamain said he couldn't continue and won the belt via disqualification. And in the present moment, I mean, not like in this present moment, but at that present moment, he threw the belt down, said he didn't feel like champion. And then, you know, an hour later, he's at his after party saying he's the champ, and just made himself look really bad and really cringy. And ever since then, he hasn't really helped his case, you know. Nobody would really wish to win the belt in that circumstance, but he did, you know, and I don't blame him for that. But the way, like, I was a really big Sterling fan before all that happened, you know, and I wouldn't say I'm necessarily not a Sterling fan anymore, but I really don't like the way that he's acted since then. And it's kind of just almost been cringy, and it's like, you know what, you should have just went away and just said, I'm gonna go get my surgeries done and come prove myself, because that's not the way you wanted to win. That's what he said at first, and then he's like, yeah, no, I'm the motherfucking champ, fuck you, and Petr Yan's a cheater, and this and that. Yeah, it was a very, like, illegal blow, but it almost just seemed like he wasn't doing it on purpose. It was very obvious it was an accident, but it was what it was. The guy couldn't continue, so with the rule set, he is the champion now. Since then, because this has been well over a year since this has happened, Aljamain has had neck surgery and he's been out. So they had an interim title fight between Petr Yan and Corey Sandhagen. And Petr Yan and Corey Sandhagen put on a very fantastic 5-round war where Petr really made Corey's kickboxing and karate style almost look amateur. And, you know, and no offense to Corey, because it is like the highest level of striking that was displayed for us. But Petr Yan really like equaled and then went above. Like he just fought a better fight and made Corey just like on the back foot the whole time, constantly second guessing. Petr Yan was the better fighter on that night, and it really showed, you know. And every single outing that Petr Yan has been out there for, he's looked so much better. I mean, he annihilated Aldo, annihilated Faber, annihilated Jimmy Rivera. You know, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say he annihilated Jimmy Rivera, because he was getting beat really early on in those rounds and then like dropped him at the end of each round. He kept winning the round right at the end of the fight. You know, but I mean, the dude is just so fucking good, you know, and in this rematch, I expect the same thing to happen, you know. I don't think Sterling's gonna be the same guy. You know, and I also lost a lot of respect with this whole Matt Serra situation too, where they basically kicked him out of the corner and brought in Eric Nixick. God, that sucked too. It's just like, man, you don't make it really very, he's clearly not a loyal guy either. The guy who brought you to the dance, you kind of get away from, you know. And since then, Matt Serra said he's kind of retired from the whole, who knows what really happened behind the scenes, but the whole thing just really did not paint Aljamain in a good light. And, you know, that's kind of what I'm going to say with that. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a fan anymore, but I'm definitely not as big as a fan of him as I was before that fight happened. And who knows what's going to happen. He could come out balls to the wall, totally healthy, rejuvenated, looks great, maybe worked on some holes. Who really knows what Aljamain Sterling is going to look like coming next Saturday. But I think Petr Yan is just going to do what Petr Yan does, and maybe early on, be patient, let the fight come to him, let him gas himself out. Who knows if Sterling's going to come out aggressive again. Very exciting to see. But personally, I got Petr Yan. I just think he's going to be too much for Aljo. He already knows what's going to be coming at him, what Aljo has to offer. Aljo's going to have to make some huge changes in his game and really come with a different approach if he wants to take out Petr Yan and become the UFC Bantamweight champion. Tell me what you guys think. I got Petr Yan. If you guys think differently, on the whole situation, please tell me your opinions. Let me know. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Mr. Mustache MMA News out. Let's fucking go fight, fans. So excited.